Something just happened with my hips. I don't know what.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to ETTO's Top Games of 2022. First off, Josh, how's your hip?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah?
Good hip.
I'm Will.
I'm Josh.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
And
I'm Ben.
Ben! Woo, Ben!
Hi, Ben.
We're here to talk about our favorite games of the year. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very long. I'm going to fumble around on these buttons and, that shot's a bit shit, isn't it? Ben, do you want to kick us off at your number 10 game of 2022?
My number 10 is TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
nice.
Yeah. Great game. Don't have any affinity with TMNT, but it was fun enough that it made my number 10. So
Nice.
there you go.
Yum.
Cool. Yeah, I heard really good things about it too.
Yeah, totally.
I kind of wish I got onto it.
I played through the entire game multiplayer with a friend of mine.
Yeah, nice.
Took a few hours, but it's very fun.
Finchy, give us your first one.
Well, mine starts at top 4. So.
Yeah. I mean, we'll come back to you over the course of this.
Yeah. So my fourth one is Star Wars Lego.
Nice.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it and then stopped because I had other games I was playing that did not come out this year. Came out a few years ago. But so I actually want to get back into that because it would be cool to play all those all the movies. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think it also didn't help that you and me, Josh, we played through all of them.
Yeah.
before this
We
came out.
probably burnt ourselves out.
Of Lego.
Yeah, that's the bad idea about playing all of the games of a series before playing the brand new one.
Yeah.
I played through the first half of Phantom Menace and did not
That
like
was enough.
it, so I put it down.
Yeah.
But
it's a shame.
But it's mainly I just have a lot of nostalgia for the early games, and it's not that. So
Sam, what's your first?
Well, I've only got 2 games, so I'm worse than Josh. But my second game is The Last of Us Part 1, the PS5
remake.
I think you're the only... Did anyone else play that?
No.
I don't think anyone else did.
Look, technically it came out a while ago, but in terms of a remake, it's genuinely a different game.
Did you play the new one? The old one, sorry?
Yeah.
He loves it.
I love it.
Yeah.
He dresses up. He's the man. Of course. He's IRL job.
Of course. Even down to lighting and shadows in a lot of scenes is so different.
Yeah.
Because I was watching scenes from the original to this one, and it's surprising just how different it is. I think being them using the engine from part 2, it really allows you just get more immersed in the game and get more involved.
Yeah.
And everything just looks so crisp.
Yeah.
So
it looks so good.
Yeah. No, it was great. Yeah.
Sick. I think. Well, the thing is, it's coming to PC pretty early next year, so I think I might wait to play that over the playing of it. Yeah,
I'm waiting for to have a better graphics card to play all these PlayStation games in ray tracing on a PC. Because once I can do that, that'll be very exciting.
Josh, number 10.
Nice. My number 10. My list is wild.
I'm excited.
I have not played many games nor finished.
Yes,
very few of them. So, my number 10 is Super Cable Boy.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. So I talked about it on the podcast a while ago. It's basically like a Celeste clone kind of thing.
Yeah, cool.
You play as a little. It's basically like a little Game Boy, but he's got a cable running out the back of him, and you use that as almost like a grappling hook and that sort of thing. And they keep adding cool, interesting, abilities and stuff that go with retro gaming. Yeah, there's ones where you can change the the screen resolution and stuff, and that's there's a whole bunch of different sort of abilities and stuff, and it was just a really fun game. From what I played of it, I think I got close to finishing it, but just didn't get back to it. But Super Cable Boy, pretty sick, pretty fun. Kind of Celeste clone.
Bad name.
Yeah.
Bad name. How do I pray? There we go. How do I pray, Josh? Tell me, how do I pray?
How do we do this, Josh? We gotta tell him how to.
How do I pray?
How does one pray? Hands together.
Jesus Christ.
That's it.
All right. Well, my number 10 is Somerville, which was it was in many of the Xbox game showcases. It's on Game Pass. It's kind of Sam, I think whilst you don't love indie games, I think you might enjoy this because it's kind of got a bit of A Quiet Place-ness to it. It's it's like sci-fi A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
It's all 2.5D, so you're only really moving on a certain plane. But there's a bit of camera movement to it, but it's similar to things like Inside and Limbo and stuff like that. It's very much navigating a very linear world but there's fun little puzzles integrated. But there's also, because it's sci-fi, you like pick up powers and you have kind of these really like intuitive powers. Admittedly, it's only 2 hours long and I didn't want to get frustrated. So I looked up a guide and it was like, as soon as I was a little bit unsure, I just got like a whiff of a hint. And then I'm like, all right, I got the thing. Yeah. But it was still so fun to play that I got to enjoy it. So Somerville is my number 10. Cool. I think we're going back to Ben.
Back to me. My number 9 could make a lot of people angry, but I got a good reason for it, is Elden Ring, which is many people's game of the year.
Yeah.
But the reason it's not my game of the year is because I only played like 2 hours, maybe like 5 hours of it back in like March.
Yeah.
And I picked it up in the past week. And I played enough of it in the past week, which is not much, to decide that it deserved to make the top 10. But I also, in good conscience, could not put it any higher because I've barely scratched the surface of what that game is.
Yeah.
But it's a fantastic game. You don't need to hear me talk about it because there's plenty of people on the internet explaining why it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
If I made this list in 2 months, it would probably be much higher.
Yeah.
But
you didn't. We made it now.
Well, I'll say, like, he played it more than me. I think
That's true,
I played it for about 10 minutes and I was like, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a very specific type of game. So I'm out of it too.
Yeah.
I'm also on a trance. Josh, give us your number 9.
That one.
Not you.
Yeah, no.
Oh, this one.
My number 9. My number 9 is Pokemon Arceus. I did not get to play much of this at all, but I know that I would absolutely get sucked into it if I if I had more time, and I would like to go back to it at some stage. But yeah, just, you know, the dream, having grown up with Pokemon games, the dream was always big open world Pokemon game, like, you know, 3D everything, like full camera movement and all of that, and we finally got it. And it sounds like it's better than the new ones, because the new ones just sound like they're a total disaster. But yeah, Arceus was just very cool and kind of just a bit of a collectathon sort of thing as well, because you are actually creating essentially what is the first Pokedex.
Yeah.
And to do that, like there's cool concepts where it's like, you know, catch this Pokemon this many times, but also see this particular Pokemon do this move 5 times and stuff. And then that builds up the data and you get like a very satisfying little tick when you get there and things like that. So
this is going to knock off one of my special mentions because
nice.
I love this game, but like it's exactly what I've always wanted from a Pokemon game, because I don't like the combat in Pokemon games, and this one was like just catch as many as you can, which is like exactly the gameplay loop I like.
That is the premise, right?
Yeah.
yeah, totally. And
they've taken this long to just distill it back down to that.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah. And I liked the setting more than like the newer ones. I liked that it was kind of set in the past, and you were kind of, as Josh said, build the first Pokedex.
Yeah,
very fun. I've
played like feudal Japan-esque as well, which is cool. Yeah.
I don't have any Pokemon games in my list, even though there's been like 6 this year.
Surprise.
Weird.
The man who's played like 1, maybe some of 1.
What did I play on Spawn Point? I played like all the fucking dumb mobile versions.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was like they just
Pokemon Cafe Mix.
No, that was Rad got that one. I got it was like a dungeon one. And what was that? It was a
mystery dungeon?
Yeah,
was that mobilified?
Yeah. It was mobile ones as well as DS. Yeah. Gross, stupid. Also gross and stupid is God of War Ragnarok, which is my number 9.
There you go.
Sorry, Sam. I'm not gonna poo on it because it's gonna get some love later on. Yeah. I don't hate it. Yeah. But I have left it, and I don't think I'll go back to it.
Because I do know that you weren't happy with the gameplay, which is very understandable.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
That's
but also he's wrong.
I know. I'm not. It's my gaming Andor. I know. I'm aware.
I think this will come up multiple times in multiple people's lists as well.
Sam, have you finished?
Yeah,
the game?
Yeah.
Cool. Because I know Josh hasn't, but I have as well. So.
I have not.
Yeah. We'll talk about this later. I love the story, and I think I'll watch the story later. Yeah. But I just hate playing the game. Sure. I just hate playing game. So that's my number 9. Back to Ben.
Number 8 is Tunic.
Nice.
You had to, didn't you? You had to.
I took most of the year to play this. I started on stream when it came out in like February. and then was like, I'm going to play this all on stream. And then I like took multiple month-long breaks from streaming. And then, but eventually I got through the game. It's very fun. It's a very cool version of what it is, which is like Zelda crossed with like a little bit of like Dark Souls-y mechanics. It's a good game. The stuff it's doing with like instruction manual and like kind of finding pieces of how to play the game as you go along is the most interesting stuff it does. The actual combat of the game is kind of eh. And when Death's Door came out last year, which was I think my game of the year last year, it kind of pales a bit in comparison to that, but it's still a very good game. I still finished it and I still loved the ending. So
yeah. Oh man, I wish I got to that. It would have been so high on my list.
Oh, Josh.
I feel like I'm going to play like a 2022 game and then a 2023 game and then a 2022 game next year. Just alternatively catch up on the games I missed from this year.
I have a few of those as well, and even I have a big list, but you'll tell that I still have some that I haven't played. So.
But he still has 15 games to talk about, and Josh, you have one to talk about right now.
What is it? So random. I'm pretty sure I played this in early access. I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but it came out officially this year. Session Skate Sim.
Yeah, good.
So just another, realistic skate game.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about that. It was pretty good. I played it on stream and it was good fun.
Yeah.
I think that's actually, I will bring it up because there was a good moment in ETTO history. Playing that game was where Big Skateboard came from.
It's an ETTO game of the year.
That was the
Session? Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, because everyone was saying like this, skateboarding isn't real, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They use
no, not everyone, me specifically.
You specifically, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, because I think you jumped on stream with me and you were watching me play it.
Yeah. No, that was before a Back Pocket episode. I jumped on and was like just absolutely talking shit about skateboarding.
And now we've got a whole channel in our Discord about it.
Yeah. What's 100%. It called?
Session Skate Sim.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to put it on our big list to decide where it fits because when it's a fucking like us game, it needs to be. It needs to be on the list. It deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Sifu now deserves to be at my number 8. I hadn't played it at all until.
Sorry, what was
Sifu?
that? Sifu.
Yeah, not seafood.
Just drop the D. Sifu.
Yes.
SIFU is the
Sifu. Okay.
Yeah. So Sifu it's kind of a martial arts game. It's not what I think anyone thought it was going to be. I think everyone was slightly disappointed by how like linear it was. It felt like it was going to be more of a fun beat 'em up, and it actually is very much like do the right things in the right sequence and win. But there's still a lot of style to it, and like I'm enjoying it. The only reason it's not higher up is much like a lot of our games, I haven't finished it, and that's because I play it in 30-minute increments, which is I play enough of it until my computer turns off. And then I'm just like, well, I played enough of the game today. So I'll get to finishing this game sometime in the new year. But
why are you playing on PC and not?
Because I want to play as Batman.
Okay,
and
cool,
it's great because when you're because Ben, you can talk on this. The Sifu characters are boring as shit, and so when they say like their line reads, which are terrible, it's like they walk into a club and it's like, it seems really like scary in here. And so I'm as Batman. So as soon as they've said their line, I'm like, it seems really scary in here. And it's like, this game feels so much cooler.
That's so good. I'm glad that question actually went somewhere. Like had a good answer.
Mods for Sifu are very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I played like halfway through this game and I'm not sure I will ever pick it up again. As Will said, it oozes style. But I hate everything else about it.
I'm bad at it, which sucks.
I would say I'm decent at it, but I hate the gameplay in a game that's all about like brawling. You have to spend most of your time dodging instead of parrying, which I feel like doesn't make sense to me.
No.
And also it's just like I've been playing Elden Ring. I play plenty of quite difficult games, but I feel like this one felt unnecessarily hard for what it was. And like it could have been, as you said, a fun brawl kind of game.
I have heard on podcast, apparently it gets like, you get really proficient at it and there is a post game which is like necessary and has like a true ending.
It's like Neo.
And apparently, apparently you can smash through it in a couple of hours once you get to the New Game Plus.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's apparently it's a breeze and so much fun to play the second time.
My problem is I don't like the rest of the game enough to do that. Like I got halfway through it. I think it was when like Elden Ring and Tunic and Witch Queen, which I'll talk about in a bit, came out. And like I was like, why would I go back to Sifu? So like it's fine, but it wasn't even in my special mentions, and I've got 5 games of that.
Well, I'm glad I gave it a mention. Ben, what would you like to mention?
I'd like to mention Vampire Survivors. Which I think I had a look at your list, Will, and is higher up, so I won't go too long on it. But this is a great little game. Deserves to be higher in the Game Awards.
Oh, is this the kind of idle game?
Yeah.
Right. Never got around to this.
Clicker kind of thing.
So it's kind of like, again, we'll talk about it a bit more in the future, but to say what the game is, it's kind of like an auto battling style game. You kind of just move your character around and get upgrades. So addictive, has fantastic sound design. Like the chest sound opening, best sound in video games.
Nice. In video, not 2022, just in video games.
No, in video games, it is the most satisfying thing. You just like dance along to it every time.
Interesting.
The one thing I will say is when I first played it, which was on PC, I was like, "This make a great mobile game." And then they released it on mobile, and I don't think it plays as well on mobile, but it is a very good mobile, like it is still a very good mobile game. You just kind of have to completely change your play style, which is the bit that I'm still getting used to.
I think like for me, which we'll talk about later, I think it's lucky I never played it on Xbox. I'm not having that disconnect, but totally.
But it is also like the perfect mobile game. And I'm sure I'll play plenty of it when I'm not playing Marvel Snap.
So many hours on the toilet.
Fair.
Killing people.
Nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Josh, have you killed any people on the toilet?
I haven't. But you know who does? Doctors. No, that's a bad segue. Wayward Strand is my number 6. It is a game I worked on. I did not play.
This is illegal, Josh.
Yeah.
FTC. I'm going to file an FTC complaint.
That's right. No, I can talk about this.
You know what's in it.
I know some of what's in it.
I mean, to be fair, you played the game while you were developing it, right?
So, not enough of it to be able to talk much about it. But
those fucking menus, I
made some of those menus, and I did a bunch of UI stuff, which is pretty cool. I think that the text bubbles, the way that they work, look pretty good.
It is pretty good, pretty impressive.
So that is my number 7, and I feel like it would definitely be on my list when I get around to actually playing it.
Anyone who has played it very much like talks highly of it.
Especially the menus.
Yeah, that's right.
I fucking love those menus.
You just play the game for the menus.
Oh God, Joshua.
That's it.
That's what I do on the toilet. I just look at Josh's menus. What's he cooking for me today? Chicken. It's the menu. It's the menu.
Gotcha.
It's the menu.
Gotcha. Will, number 7.
My number 7, which I've just swapped. I've just like whilst sitting here, and sorry for the flicker on this camera. I'll fix it for whatever other ones of these, because this won't be the first one.
Nah.
So it just, the other ones will be better. And you'll be like, why is it better? And it's because this one came first. I've been changing my list as we're going, so it's actually a little bit different. I'm going to continue with mobile games. I'm also going to stop moving too much because that scares the camera. My number 7 is Poinpy. Which
Poinpy.
Oh, God.
That's on my list.
That's on Josh's list. Do you want to talk about it, Josh? Your experience with Poinpy?
I absolutely love Poinpy, right? It's just a simple collect the fruit.
Yeah.
Do you know what Poinpy is, Sam?
Is this the iPhone one?
Yeah. So Josh will bring it up for you.
I'll bring it up for you.
But it's like
funnest game.
It itches the doodle jump.
It's
just that.
Modern
Why does the Netflix
jump.
logo come up?
So it's part of Netflix games. Netflix are trying to...
games?
Yeah. So Netflix has got a gaming division.
Basically, you just collect the fruit and then you bounce.
I'll put it on screen for you guys.
And then, so sorry to everyone that's
just an example.
Yeah. But like the thing that I find easy is to like.
It's okay, Josh. You can stop playing.
He doesn't want to though. He doesn't want to stop. That's why it's on his list.
But like, because you go up in like ranks or levels or something. But like, I'm at the point where I can go from level 1 to level like 12 in one combo.
Yeah.
Whoa.
like which is fun.
Yeah,
solid.
Because I get to go to like actually.
Yeah,
it just takes me up to where I need to be to actually like push myself.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's got such a good rinse and repeat. Like that coupled with Vampire Survivors. You're the mobile games guy. I've never played mobile games. This has been my year. I've been loving it. It's been great.
I downloaded this last night. I did get stuck on the screen that says the title. I couldn't get past it. And so I can't even say much more than that. But mobile games are great.
The menu, did Josh make the menu?
That menu is something.
Oh my God.
Something else.
Hang on. Let me show you what I mean. There's a menu here that says the title, and I can't understand. Like, I know you can go left and right, but I can't understand.
No, okay, so what you do is you pull him up. So pull him so he jumps up.
Yeah.
You got to tap the screen and then you'll slam down.
He bounced on the dude.
Yeah.
He bounced on the dude. I got past it.
Yeah. There we go. That's level 1.
There's level 1, everybody.
Okay. Well, it's my game of the year now.
Good. Amazing. Well, what is actually your number 6 game of the year, Ben?
Number 6, I also just did a quick switcheroo. My number 6 is Neon White.
Hey.
Nice.
This game is fantastic. My top 6 are like all very good for different reasons. But Neon White is like the most fun, some of the most fun I've had in a game this year. The gameplay loop of it is so satisfying. You basically pick up cards, which are also your weapons, and then, love me some cards. You like discard them to do different things like jump, dash, all those kind of things. A bunch of my friends started playing it, got into a loop of like, kind of like trying to beat each other's times. I was not good enough to beat most of them, so I stopped before I got too embarrassed. It was fantastic. Made by the guy who made Donut County, which is very wild because this game is nothing like Donut County.
Yeah. I think it's on both of Josh and I's. We'll play it in the new year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My one thing is I didn't finish it because I kind of hit a point where I was sick of it, which is weird because I loved the gameplay so much, but there was a point which I started getting through the levels that I was like, this is like too complicated. The earlier levels are taking like 40 seconds at most maybe, and then they start taking like multiple minutes at a time, and I'm just like, that was the point where it lost me. And there's also a lot of like in between, like it's kind of like a visual novel style story, which was kind of, I streamed most of it, and it was kind of fun to like play through that story at first and like kind of work out what was going, and then after a while I was just like, just let me get back to the gameplay. It's like Midnight Suns, which is not on my list at all, but like not as bad as Midnight Suns, but it was definitely the thing where I was like, I just want to be doing the gameplay, and then when I'd actually get to the gameplay at that point, I was like, okay, this is too much. So I might never finish it, but like what I did play of it was fantastic. So
yeah, cool.
Nice.
Cool. Josh, where are we at?
So I actually did a switcheroo of 6 and 7 as well. I think we all did.
I feel like I need to do a switch. Do you want to do a switch too?
Well, I've only got one more game to talk about, so I can't really do a switch.
Nice. So my number 6 is Ollie Ollie World.
Hey, there it is.
Another skateboarding game. Very, very good. I, again, didn't get around to finishing it. I tried to jump back in again while I think I was waiting for a different game to download. So I was just like, yeah, I'll just jump in and play that instead. And it's hard to jump back into. I think I'd need to almost start over again. I was playing on stream. It was great. Really, really fun. I really enjoyed the earlier Ollie Ollie games.
Yes.
Just like 2D side scroller, sort of almost a platformer sort of thing. But yeah, this one has a lot more of a Adventure Time art style. Yep. More of a story than any of the other games did before. And yeah, kind of deeper mechanics, more interesting, fun challenges and stuff. And so, yeah, very, very, very fun game. Fun writing, fun concept. There is a DLC out for it as well, which I didn't get to either, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, Ollie Ollie World, very, very good.
Sick.
My number 6.
My number 6 is Midnight Fight Express.
Not Midnight Suns Express?
No. I don't expressly to my fuck off pile. No, Midnight Express is kind of see-through.
You got there.
It's kind of see-through but top down. It's very fun. It basically is what I thought see-through was going to be.
I was going to say the same thing.
Did you play a bit of this, Ben?
I played the demo of it. I think I may have even played a little bit when it came out on Game Pass. But yeah, my thing is that like the look of Sifu with like this combat is the game I want to play. Neither of them nailed the other parts.
It's very like of the John Wick ilk of just like just so many different factions they just keep pulling out of their ass, and it's so much fun, and it's so schlocky and silly, and it's Game Pass as well, and I think it was like 6 hours, so it's really fun. So I think it could go higher, but it just doesn't quite do enough to be interesting or compared to my top 5.
Yeah, so. Sure. Yeah, cool. Looks good.
Ben?
Yes, number 5.
Number 5.
This is technically it didn't come out this year, but the expansion did.
Yes,
it's Destiny 2: The Witch Queen.
Hey,
I feel like I had to put this on my list because of the absurd amount of Destiny I play.
Yep.
The reason it's not higher on this list is because Destiny has like 4 seasons a year, and like some of the seasons this year, which kind of like bridge in between the expansions, haven't been as good. So it's kind of over the course of the year, I've had moments where I've felt a bit more negative towards the game, but the expansion itself, The Witch Queen, was fantastic. It's the best content Destiny's ever made, in my opinion. Had a fantastic story. Like the story alone and the single player missions for the story are like on par with like a Doom story, which is funny because they kept advertising it like that, and everyone was like, "Nah, it's not going to be like that good of a first-person shooter campaign," but it really was very good. Had some like crazy what the fuck moments, which we'll talk about in one of our other videos.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to make these guys listen to me explain Destiny lore. But also, yeah, just like, I mean, Destiny is one of like the best feeling shooters out there, and I just am addicted to the gameplay loop at this point. I did 2 day 1 raids this year, which are like insane things where I'm in the game for like 24 hours bashing my head against the wall, basically.
Is that straight? Do you do that straight?
It's like 20 hours straight. Both of them were like 20 hours of gameplay in a day. Yeah, like my thing is, it probably could be in my top 3, but it like over the course of the year, it has had some teething issues. Yep. So like that's kind of what brings it down. But the actual expansion itself, The Witch Queen, was like fantastic.
Is it kind of like Halo? Am I right in saying?
It's the same. At first, it was.
The people who made the original Halos made Destiny now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, similar blood.
So that's why like the gameplay itself feels really good. But if you don't like grinding, you won't like Destiny.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds like I would really like Destiny, but that's why I'm not playing it.
Yeah. No,
I will not stop. It's terrifying.
Well, don't stop talking. Tell us your numbers. 6, 5.
Very good. My number 5. All right. My number 5. Camera on me, please. My number 5 is not quite a calm down. Jeez, it's not quite a game, but more of a console. My number 5 is The Playdate by Panic Inc. It's so good. So it's a little handheld console. Looks like a little square Game Boy, but it's got a crank.
Yes.
And so that's one of the main inputs for it. People are very creative with how they use the crank as well. It's so freaking fun. I think I'm still getting games.
Yeah.
Because every week you get 2 games for 12 weeks once you actually initialize the console.
Yep.
And I'm still getting them. And I don't know how many are left, but freaking there's so many games. I haven't played all of them either. Can't keep up with them. But I've also downloaded games off itch.io and have played a bunch of those ones, which are really good. Pretty good. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And since I got to Sydney, I've been building my own engine in this for it. So kind of like mostly a dialogue system at the moment. So like a old school Game Boy like Pokemon style dialogue. So a little box comes up and like text appears in it and stuff. Sick. And it stops.
That do be how dialogue works.
Yeah, that's it. And it stops. the player's input and stuff in the background. Like, I'm really trying to properly build this engine. So I'm just having a lot of fun with the console in general. So it's made it to my number 5 games of the year. It just had to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And thank you to my mum for reminding me of that, because I'm like, I'm struggling with console with games for the year, and she's like, what about that the play date that you got? I'm like, that's on the list. I'm throwing it on. Thank you, Mum.
Yeah, good.
Will you make your own menu?
Please, I'll buy your game just for the menu.
Just for the menu? All right, done. You need to buy a play date.
Just give me a special edition of the menu.
Done. Yeah, absolutely. Maybe that's what the game will be. It will just be.
Yeah, I was going to say, just make a game around menus. Make something weird.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
It's like when we were kids and you would buy like a movie. And there'd be like an Easter egg in the corner that if you move like the cursor to.
Yeah.
So each time you find the Easter egg, it takes you like a new menu.
You get deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And then eventually you find where Josh put all his porn.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. Awesome.
So my number 5 is, and it's been moved around, it was a lot lower, but then I realized that I really fucking love this game. It's High on Life.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This game is so good.
I am so shocked.
I was too.
Yeah, I bet. What the heck?
The thing with me with all of these lists is always, what's the thing that like I couldn't put down or like I was excited to watch every week?
Yeah.
And this was the one where I was like, I just need to finish this. I need to get to the end of this.
That is fascinating. Do these guys know?
No, can you explain?
They're pretty blank.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
We're pretty much high on life at the moment listening to this.
They need to understand why this is so shocking.
Yeah. So High on Life is a video game made by Justin Roiland, who does the voice for Rick and Morty. So it's that kind of humor.
Oh, is that the gun?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the premise of the game is that your gun talks to you, and they never.
I've seen some of that on TikTok.
And the gun is just Morty.
Yeah,
it's just the Morty voice,
and it's just that the whole.
I saw a bit where this guy sat in front of a screen for an hour.
Yes,
and the achievement was like, you need to sit in front for an hour.
Yeah,
and the guy comes on and he's like, oh yeah, you done it, blah blah blah. Yeah, and the door starts opening. He goes, it's broken. See you later.
Yeah, it's fun, and it is that stuff that makes this game so fun. It is the humor is so in parts because, you know, as with Rick and Morty, sometimes it works, sometimes it really fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
And I think that this actually works more often than a lot of Rick and Morty stuff, but it is the like love affair with fucking with you that makes this game so much fun.
Yeah.
And there is more depth to those things than just like. Because, like, you saw that on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's, like, different ways that those things can happen. Like, there is one where you come up against the Mac and Cheese brothers, because, of course. Their name is Mac and Cheese Brothers, and they're brothers.
Right, okay.
And there's, like, 6 of them. And they're like, I'm getting your way. We're in your way. So you come here. And you shoot one of them. And then the other one's like, you just shot my brother. And it's like that. And the clip that was around online is the guy just kills them all, and then the gun's like, "What the fuck, man? Why'd you do that?" Yeah. But I was like, I killed a few of them, and so instead of that moment being over, they are now on the other side of the map because you kind of like traverse this little mine, and when you jump over a cliff, now there's just 3 guys like, "Yeah, you killed my brother, but that nice jump, bro, nice jump," and like you crouch, and it's
That's
like, "Oh,
cool.
nice crouch," and you can just hear them. But if you kill them, they're gone. They're not there. There's like lots of moments. There's like a kid that comes up to you and he's like, I'm a kid. And you can kill the kid.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Or you cannot kill the kid and it changes. There's just more depth than this game deserves.
Like, it's very much a game where it's like each player will have like a unique experience.
Totally. Yeah.
Also, every time you walk away from a freaking NPC, they're just like, fuck you.
Yeah. They're like,
you stop. You leave when they in the middle of their sentence and they like actually get annoyed at you. And I'm like, that's good. Like, honestly, like that's funny. And it still hasn't grated on me. And I've left a lot of NPCs behind. So.
Yeah, I thoroughly recommend it. It is only short as well. It's between like 5 to 6 hours.
What is this like on all consoles?
It's
Game Pass?
Game Pass. I think it's Game Pass and PC only, but I think it's going to trickle. Oh no, actually it's on everything. It is on everything.
So PS5?
Is it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So is it just like a standard pricing?
Yeah, but if you've got Game Pass. Yeah, it's free. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So jump on it. Ben?
Yes, sorry, me. Yes,
Ben, we're doing
I was thinking. My game of the year number 4.
Yeah, that's the way to say it.
That broke me. Is Citizen Sleeper.
Hey,
nice.
It is, how do I describe this game? It's mostly like a point and click and text-based game, most similar to like Disco Elysium, I'd say. But you're based in space. You're like a discarded robot exoskeleton shell that has like a bit of a soul or something. I don't know. There's a lot of like existential like questions in it and stuff, which is interesting. It's also just got a really good gameplay loop. The gameplay loop is based around just like have like 5 dice you roll every day, and then you can use those, whatever the number you rolled, as resources for certain things, but you need like specific numbers to do specific things. I played through it in a couple nights. It's only maybe like 6 or 7 hours long. And yeah, it's just like a really solid story. It's basically what I have wanted from Disco Elysium, but Disco Elysium is like 60 hours and I haven't had a chance to do that. Whereas this was like a really well contained story on this like spaceship that a bunch of people live on.
Yeah.
And you're basically like kind of working out your identity and who you are and helping like a bunch of people who live on this place. And it's a hard game to describe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had to click through footage of this game for Back Pocket, and I could never find anything interesting because it's all text-based. And
yeah, but it's like the text and the actual, like, it's the kind of thing where I looked at people play it and I was like, yeah, this doesn't look that enticing. But when you actually play it, like it's investing. The story they're telling is investing. And like, yeah, it's got enough of a gameplay loop. Again, it's just dragging dice into slots, but it's like that's enough to keep me doing, I'll just do one more day, and like eventually you get to the end of the story.
Yeah, sick. And that's on Game Pass and stuff as well, right?
That's on Game Pass. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, cool.
Sick. Joshy?
Man, I need to get through my stuff. That Josh? He's got
two more, games? Doesn't he? Yeah,
well,
give us one more.
My list. My fourth was Star Wars.
Yep.
Am I allowed to go to 3?
Yes.
Are you allowed?
No, Josh.
Wait, are we up to 3 or 4?
We're not, but we've got to.
Oh yeah,
get through yours. Yeah.
Okay, so like this game came out years ago, but like obviously you'll understand why I'm saying Fortnite.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
right?
cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like
I was so concerned.
Yeah, like you forget the one thing that we said to you.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm not gonna play Fortnite. Like I'm not a multiplayer online game. Like that's not me.
That's none of us. It's just him.
Yeah. So like I think
It is me.
it was early in the year when Will and Vaughn and I just were like, let's just play Fortnite one night. And then I was like, I love it. And then I just continually played it and then got into it.
Yeah, there's something about it. There's something about it that's so easy to just go back to.
Sorry.
No, you go. If you
No, I was it's just like so easy to level up in. And so you're like,
it's satisfying.
In probably 3 games, you can level up like 8 or 9 levels, maybe even 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
I was going to say, because I was very much in the same basket as Josh. I was like, I'm never going to touch this piece of shit.
Yeah.
But then like my brother and our cousin in Canberra, we all play together and we're all over the age of 20. So it's like, but I'll only play it with them. Or with other people. I'll never sort of just play it on my own. But when you play with other people and you're really into it and you're in a chat on the mic and you're just like my favorite thing when I play with them is that if it's a really, really intense game, we'll hear a car. And someone will be like, car! Shit. But it's like someone on our team, so like our cousin or Josh might be like, it's just me, guys. It's just me. And then like when, I think the best part was when they implemented the spider webs.
Yes. Oh God, it was fun.
And that was another thing where it's like if you heard a thwip, you'd be like, webs! Oh my God! Oh God!
I miss the spider webs. I know they had the grapple gun for a bit, which was the same.
Have you tried the hammer?
No, I haven't tried the hammers yet.
The new season, they've got hammers in it, and they're
they're annoying.
It's clearly
they're crap. Like you just hit, like if you got someone with like a purple hammer, you're dead. Like because what you can do is you can slam it on the ground, and it propels you up. And like you can go so far.
It's like a Super Saiyan.
Sick.
Yeah, and then while they're in the air, they can come down and attack you.
Cool.
And like,
Speaking of
Like
Speaking
when
of Super
I'm in
Saiyan, they have like full on anime moves as well.
when I'm in a battle with someone with a hammer, I'm 100% going to lose.
Yeah,
like no, like nothing.
But like this thing as well can take out a whole squad at once.
that's nuts.
Yeah.
It's like like if you're in the way of it, you're gone.
How hard are they to get?
Not very hard.
No,
not very hard.
Like you can have a team of hammers.
You can have a purple hammer just like that.
Yeah.
Like it is
Like
easy
you'll find it in a chest.
Yeah,
It's
it's like a common weapon.
Yeah.
But it's just overpowered.
That's crazy.
It's great. It's the best weapon in the game. Better than the spider webs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Josh?
My number 4?
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok. I won't talk about it too much because I'm sure it's coming up.
Yeah, it is. I think we got a couple more goes at that.
But my experience. I haven't finished it yet. I feel like I'm probably like halfway through. Maybe I'm finding the Noons. Is it the Noons?
Norns.
Norns. The Norns.
Yeah.
Tracking down the Norns. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it, the story and everything about it. I love the side stories. They're often like quite touching, and there's like some super interesting messages that I feel don't come up in video games all that much. That are kind of challenging from times.
Turtles have feelings.
Like turtles have feelings. Stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm just really enjoying it. I think it's a great game. Visually, it's pretty and
it's stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Will
another
sucks.
PlayStation exclusive that was more stunning that I'm sure will come up later.
Yeah, Will sucks.
Yeah, can't think of what it would be. My number 4, I won't speak on much. It's Vampire Survivors. It's taken over my life in a way that. No, I won't say what the other game could be, but a way that I know that another game could take over people's lives. I feel like this one is always on it, and because I close all my tabs on my phones. All of my phones, I close them.
All of them.
Every tab.
Every phone, every tab.
Yeah. I don't like having open apps because they just suck you. They just suck in that battery.
Yeah, they do.
So I just have everything. But when I'm swiping all the apps away, there's always an open Vampire Survivor. I'm like, well, I need to get back to that. Yeah. So the Vampire Survivor, which also eats your phone battery
Absolutely.
like hell.
I can imagine.
But I adore it. I think it's really fun. I didn't play it. I played it a little bit on Xbox, but I think I totally had the thing where I'm like, it feels like a mobile game, so I'll play it one day when it's on mobile. And then I think the next day was the Game Awards, and they're like, hey, it's on mobile. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll play it on mobile.
Nice.
The game is constant dopamine.
Yeah.
You just never are not satisfied while playing the game.
I would imagine it would be like a good PC game that's off to the side while you're doing something else, like Loop Hero.
That's how I played it initially.
So that's how I was playing Loop Hero when I did muck around with Loop Hero for a while. I was doing something else. I was probably like programming or doing something and just had Loop Hero off to the side.
Yep.
So I can imagine, this would be quite similar.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, nice.
So fun. Put it on your phones.
Okay.
No, you won't. I don't know if you'll like it. You'll like Point P.
Is it free?
Like
probably.
It's free, yeah.
Free
Which
on
is wild
phones?
because it's a paid game on consoles apart from Game Pass.
What game is it? Sorry.
Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. All right, everyone put it on.
It looks like shit.
It looks like shit. And down to the point where it's an asset flip. Like the guy has downloaded a bunch of retro-looking graphics and chucked it into
is
the
it
game.
this thing? I've seen that advertised.
Yeah. It looks like a fake game, but I swear it's good.
Yeah, I've seen it like, get this game.
Yeah. That's my number 4. We've talked it to death. Ben, I think it's time for some honorable mentions before we get into our top 3.
Honorable mentions. Cult of the Lamb, great game made in Australia.
Get onto that too. Damn it.
Doesn't get on my list because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it is a game that it's a video, like it's a gamey game. It didn't. In hindsight, didn't do anything special. I loved playing it at the time, but it does feel like it's just combining a couple genres, and it does it very well. But it's not like doesn't do any of them the best way. So
that's fair.
Power Wash Simulator.
Nice.
Because it genuinely just spent like a couple days during the year just like power washing stuff when I needed to just chill.
It is what it sounds like.
Shit, that sounds great.
It could be your thing.
I've also heard that it gets kind of like weird and meta almost at one stage.
Oh yeah, it does a little bit, and it's on Game Pass.
He's traumatized by it.
Ben, did you say it's on Game Pass?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
It's great fun. Yeah, you just like power wash stuff, and it's so satisfying. Honestly, more satisfying than power washing stuff in real life, because power washing stuff in real life sucks.
Yeah,
but doing it in game is great.
You get so wet and like so much spray back and stuff. Yeah,
so much spray back.
Get all wet and spray back.
Other two more honorable mentions. Stray, which I don't get to say anything about because the Game Awards said enough about it, but everyone else here hated it, but I played the end of it and enjoyed it. So, it's a cat game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. I paid for it. I'm like, why'd I pay for it? Like,
we're not cat people.
I thought it was good. I haven't played it, but like I was hearing like really good things about
definitely,
it.
I don't think it should have been.
It shouldn't have gotten as many awards.
And it shouldn't. Okay. I don't know how many awards it got, but I don't think it should have had a price tag. I think it should have.
It should have
like a very low.
Well, it technically did. It was part of the PlayStation Plus's version of Game Pass, so it was one of the first games they gave for free. But it definitely didn't read that way. It definitely felt like they were charging.
And also, it's like, if you play it to completion, it is actually a good game. It's just the bits that these guys played of it, also not being cat people, I totally understand why they don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good cohesive game by the end.
Yeah. I ended up watching a full playthrough of a guy I follow on YouTube. And it did look pretty fun by the end. Like there was sort of more mechanics added rather than just random platforming around a city.
And being a cat.
But yeah, having watched it all, I'm like, that's enough. I don't need to go and experience that game for myself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And my final honorable mention is Pentiment. This is similar to Elden Ring in that it'd probably be very high on the list if I'd played more of it. Hello, everyone. It's Ben from the year 2023. Obviously, I'm recording this at a later point in time. That is because on January 1st, one day into 2023, I finished a game that turns out would have ended up in the top 3 on my list. And that game is, of course, Pentiment. Pentiment is fantastic. I have so many good things to say about it, but for the sake of not extending this video too much longer, I'm just going to reel off some stuff very quickly about why I love it. To start off, the writing is absolutely top-notch. It is fantastic. There are little branching narratives in this game as well, but just the core writing and characterization of everyone in this little town of Tassing that they put you in is fantastic, and it shows a real care for the source material and historical period that they're kind of going for. Unlike any other game, Pentiment really feels like it is not just paying homage to a certain era of history, but doing that era justice. And it gives us this fascinating look at Reformation and Enlightenment era Europe in a way that I don't think any other AAA game probably necessarily does. One of the other things you got to talk about from this game is just the gorgeous, gorgeous way in which it's presented. Of course, there's the art style, which is designed to evoke Enlightenment era illuminated manuscripts. And obviously your character Andreas is someone who works on the art in those manuscripts, and it does a fantastic job of capturing that art style. It pays a compliment to the story the game is trying to tell in a really interesting and unique way. And of course, the other thing to mention in terms of presentation is the fonts and the use of fonts in this game. The fact that each different font in dialogue is kind of representative of that person's station in society and how literate they are is very, very cool. And the way there's also little typos that you can kind of scrub out and fix up during the game has no impact on the gameplay, but it's just a fun little detail. And the final brilliant thing about this game is that literally the developers at Obsidian have said that this game would not exist without a platform like Game Pass. The fact that they, as like a AAA major developer, worked on stuff like Outer Wilds, Fallout, can actually spend the time to make a cute little game like Pentiment and put it out on Game Pass and not have to worry about that level of success is just one of the amazing benefits of Game Pass. We've already talked about a lot in this video, but by all means, if we get more stuff like this because of Game Pass, I'm all for it. Let devs do their little passion projects and give us cool little 10-hour experiences like Pentiment, because this was fantastic. It's in my top 3 games of the year.
Well, Ben, do you want to kick on with your number 3 as well then?
Here we go.
Yes.
Top 3?
Top 3?
Top number 3 is Immortality.
Hey, there
Immortality is a FMV video game, full motion video game. By Sam Barlow.
It is. Just quick, before we get any deeper, Sam, what's your name?
Sam.
Sure.
That's Sam. Ben. FMV, because Josh you said everything.
FMV.
But
full motion video. So it's a game, but it's filmed.
Oh.
Like it's not there's
like
no
the
like
date simulators.
like
graphics.
yeah. Like,
And it's just like,
it's like an interactive movie, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in more of a gaming sense, in that it's got UI and it's got stuff to interact with.
So real people, real actors, all
but
filmed.
what are you controlling?
Well, Ben.
They're
Okay, well let me get to
Because-
that.
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, Ben. Sorry. This is your, number 3?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
apologize.
And it's very unique in the world of FMV as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what you do in this game, the like premise is, there is this person. I can't remember her name, which is probably a problem because she's in all of them. But basically, there are 3 films that are like found footage, and this person like doesn't exist in the world anymore. And you're trying to piece together these films and get little bits of each of the 3 films to kind of uncover what exactly happened to her and why she just like doesn't exist anymore. So basically what has happened is they have recorded 3 full films as well as behind the scenes footage for those films. And then kind of split them all up. And the way you play the game is you're like scrubbing back and forwards through footage, and then you can click on items in any piece of footage you're in, and it'll take you to a new clip, either from the same film or a different film or a behind the scenes bit that has like the item you clicked on in it or something similar. So you can click on a cup in a clip, and then it'll take you to another clip with a cup. And then you're kind of, as I said, piecing together all these films, and that is the most surface level version of it because it gets really fucked up and weird, but in a fantastic way. And I'm not really going to say any more than that because like saying it would actually spoil the surprise and like cool experience of playing this game. But basically, as I said, the remarkable thing about it is they've filmed 3 films. If you piece them all together, there is 3 films to be watched here. The main actress, whose name is Manon Gage, plays the main character in all 3 films. She is like the missing person. So she's also playing Marissa Marcel outside of the films as well. So she's playing a 4th person there. So she's playing 4 different roles. It will take you like maybe like 6 hours to play through at most if you want to like find all the footage and kind of go through that. It might take you a bit longer, but yeah, like it's nice and short and like super weird, but also really good.
As an editor, that I would get through it quicker. Like I would just cut the fat and I'd just be like, I don't need to look at this clip. I'm just going to move on.
You would, but then you'd realize you then have to go back because there's a mechanic that kind of comes up that you then have to like go back looking through pieces to find like extra stuff. And yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I finished it, still doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's kind of fun to try and make sense of it and try and work out exactly what it is trying to say.
Is it the sort of game that has an ending? Because I know like Her Story, which is a similar sort of game, doesn't have an ending. You just stop playing when you think you've figured out what the...
Yeah, that's basically the same here. It has a time where it rolls credits, but when I rolled the credits, I was like, I still don't fully understand what's going on. So I went back and got a couple bit more bits of context. Kind of, then I was streaming it at the time and I was like, okay, here's how I think it works. And I was like, I'm done now because I feel like I've worked out what is happening. But yeah, I've never played an FMV game before this. Never played a Sam Barlow game. He has made like 3 or 4 FMV games at this point. But I will go back and play more because it was fun.
Josh, no, you.
Here's one.
Yeah. So I feel like
Josh.
my number 3.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come up again. Because it hasn't appeared on Will's list yet. But my number 3 is Rollerdrome. So good. For you guys, it is a roller skating shoot 'em up game.
Is that the one? I think I've seen gameplay of Will where it's like
probably,
where you kind of go around the like arena, you do tricks and it kind of combos. You get bullets, and like in the combo, you shoot.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of enemies that will spawn into a level, and they are trying to kill you. You have to kill them first, and it's kind of like, there's waves of enemies and stuff, but to replenish your ammo, you have to do tricks off ramps cool. and stuff like that. So there's almost like a bit of a puzzle element to it, because you kind of have to figure out how to like kill, like which enemies to kill in certain orders and stuff, because sometimes you got to take out, well, you don't have to, but it's much easier if you take out certain enemies first and things like that. So it's such a good game. Yeah, Will's got it up on screen at the moment. It is just such a fun, beautiful game.
Cool.
It's
super fun, man.
There is a single level where it just ramps up to a point where it took me, I was getting through levels, within 5 minutes at a time. Five to 15 minutes per level. And then the next level took me about 2 to 3 hours to complete. Because I just kept dying. The difficulty ramped up in a way that I was not expecting. It was absolutely insane.
I love the art style.
Oh, it's super slick.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
There is another game that I think would be on my list this year, which is Sable, which came out before this, but looks almost identical in art style. You would think that it was made in the same engine by the same people.
Yeah, true.
But it's Rollerdrome, stunning. We'll talk more about it later.
It'll come back.
But really, really cool game.
Yeah, cool. My number 3 is a little game called Tiny Kin.
Nice.
This one and High on Life are kind of flipping back and forth. High on Life I really do love, but it is like janky as fuck. Like you can break the game.
Sure.
Whereas Tiny Kin is pretty solid. It's like, it's hard to break it because it's basically Pikmin is really what it is. It's the best version of Pikmin. You got a bunch of little dudes, and the blue ones, give electricity to the puzzle. The green ones do. It's like, it's the games that we grew up with on like PS2 era kind of video games. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. Gus talked about it a whole heap on Back Pocket, and I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like that just seems a little bit baby level. It's the games I put behind me when I left Good Games Spawn Point.
Yeah.
But it's not, because it's a good game. I mean, this is like a good children's game, and it's a good family game.
I like the art style too, because it's a 3D environment with 2D characters.
Yes.
I was just about to say that. I like that.
It's cool.
And all the puzzles, you never hit a wall of frustration, which is delightful. Obviously, that kind of leans heavy into the kid game market, but it's not easy. It's just you never get stuck. There's always a constant sense of pace. The levels don't go too long. I think it's only like 5 hours long in total. I like short games. That's what my year this year has been. Like, how long is this game? Cool, I'll play it. And it's also on Game Pass, as with everything.
This is definitely one of the ones I've been wanting to jump into this year too.
I played the first level of this, I think, or the second, like the first main level of it. And I didn't love it as much as you guys, but I also still really enjoyed it. So I think I'll go back to it at some point. My one thing was, it felt pretty repetitive after a while. Does it change? Do you get more? I guess you get more different types of things.
Kind of the first level, you've only got the pink ones that are going to move stuff, and then each one kind of they don't. Kind of after the second or third level, there's not much more, but it's more that the puzzles are different. It's that they get a bit more complex. But totally, I didn't play this over 2 nights like High on Life or something. There was a bit of like, I'll come back to you in a bit. I'll play something else for a while.
Cool.
But no, super fun. And as with everything, it's on fucking Game Pass. So
nice.
Play it.
Get Game Pass.
Just get Game Pass.
Please.
Insane. So good.
What else should they get, Ben?
They should get God of War Ragnarok.
Hey.
Nice.
I'm assuming this is the other game Sam has to talk about. So we might wait till then. But fantastic game. I think maybe a perfect game. Still not my game of the year. Just purely like I don't know. I know Will doesn't like the combat, but I freaking love the combat in this game. Everything about this game is like polished. I don't think there's a point in the game that you can like pull it up on. Like I don't think there's really anything even if you don't gel with the combat or whatever, I don't think you can pull it up on being bad. I think it's just a thing where the style of gameplay doesn't suit you.
Yes.
There's just so much to do. They made a better game than the first God of War with the second one, which feels like impossible because that game I also thought was like a perfect game. I love Norse mythology, so it was always going to get me, but like it got me in a way that I still didn't expect. I was just like, oh, it's going to be another God of War game. How good can it be? As I said, when the first one was so good. It was really freaking good. There is a moment in this game, like a story moment, that I'm still like reeling from. It's like a big what the fuck moment that I can't put in our moments of the year because Josh hasn't finished it. And but like, yeah, the story is fantastic. It's long, but like not in a way that I disliked. Like everything in the game felt like it needed to be there. It's kind of a bit like, you can tell they were kind of like, well, we could make a trilogy out of this, or we could just make this game really, really good and just make it a duology. And I'm glad they made that decision because I feel like they didn't quite have enough for 3 games. They maybe had a bit too much for 2 games, but like they made it work.
So there won't be a third.
No.
There might be another God of War game or like another game in the universe, but there won't be a third Norse game. They've already said
2 characters.
But legitimately, there's enough in this game that it is like, I'm not upset with that. They go to literally like every realm in this game. Again, Sam's going to talk about it, but I'll say most of my piece on it, which is every character in this game is so well written, from the major characters to the kind of like middle tier characters to the most minor characters. Every one of them has like a very good story. And does every like voice acting performance is fantastic. The little bits of lore that you uncover, whether through like reading them or like, just like tiny little side missions with a person you never see again, are great. It's just a freaking fantastic game. And I'm not sure, like, it's going to be in like probably my top 5 games of all time. Wow. Which is crazy because it's not my game of the year. That's purely because the other game is a game that I played so much of. And this is a one and done thing, and just so immensely satisfied by this game. But in a good, like, not in like I'm just satisfied by it, like in a very good way. Like it was everything it needed to be in the best way possible.
Yeah, awesome. Sam, why do you love this thing?
Do you want me to talk about it now?
Yeah, do it.
I didn't play a lot of games this year. But this was definitely one that I was looking forward to the most. Because I love the whole like Norse vibe. I love all that sort of stuff. I hadn't played the one before this in a while, so I kind of like forgotten going into this where we left off at. But I think that helped me in a way because it really isolated this as being its own thing. And like there's enough that I remember from the other one that I can bring into this and go, okay, that makes up. And you sort of like add it up as you go.
I will say on that very quickly, they do a recap at the start, which is horrible, but then actually playing through the game, they remind you of most of the stuff from the first game,
totally.
Which is good.
And that initial recap is the worst video quality I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's bad, man.
I think I skipped it.
Yeah, good choice.
It's like 420.
It's so good.
It's like 480p or 420p.
Special mention to the recap.
So pixelated.
Like I can 100% understand like what Will you're saying, what other people are saying in terms of like the gameplay wise stuff. It is very much the same thing over and over again. Because I'm now playing through this for the second time just so I can use the photo mode.
I've seen your photos.
I'll talk about that in a second. But like, so being where I was at the end of the game to now going back to it in a new game, the combat is a lot more boring. And I think it's just because you don't have...
You got to work your way back to
you
it.
do need to work your way up to get all the skills and the assets that make your weapons strong and like fun to actually kill people with. But even saying that, like, I'll never get bored with throwing that axe around and just feeling that like, that wallop when it comes back. it's the same thing as what Ben said. Like, there's just so many things about it that are so good. The fact that you do go to like every single realm, and there are so many story moments where I was like, holy shit. And there is one. I think we're thinking of the same one, Ben, but I'm not going to say. But yeah, like there is a story moment where you're just like, oh shit. Like, okay,
yeah. I'm pretty sure like anyone who watches this who's played the game knows the one. Sure.
I need to go back.
Come on, Josh. But yeah, like I think my favorite thing about this is purely just like the story and the characters within it. Especially like with Atreus and Kratos, like they've got such a bond in this one, and you see them go through so much, and then seeing where they end up at the end of this, it's like the greatest arc. Cool. Like I love it. Like especially like for like Atreus, like you like towards the end of it, it's like. I feel like in the game before this one, and like I'm trying to stop saying like the first game, because I know it's not the first game. But yeah, like the game that came before this, Atreus was very much just in the shadow of Kratos, I feel. In this, it's a thing where it's like, this game is his. It's very much a thing for him.
Like as we talk about it, because I'm just remembering something.
But yeah, I mean, what I will say though, the photo mode, like it's fun, but it could be a lot better.
Damn it.
We found a flaw.
Like literally the only flaw I've got, because I started playing this after playing the remaster of The Last of Us, the PS5. And I was using the photo mode in that. And in that, you can like add lighting and change so many things about it. In the photo mode for this, it's pretty much you just set up the camera and can play with the depth. That's kind of it.
It's interesting that they don't just like
but that was the thing,
give each other their
well, because like
modes.
I think that's why I was so shocked as well, because like this was made with like the modern tech, and like maybe like the remaster of The Last of Us, like they were probably still using some older elements, but they were able to make this whole new engine for photo mode and throw that in there.
Well, because the whole thing with PlayStation Studios, they were like, we'll share. Like everyone will have our assets between studios. So it sucks that but
other than that, great game. Like I mean, like like we can't go into spoilers, but it's like
I think I said to Josh I was talking to Josh about it and said we do a spoiler cast when he does finish it. So Sam will get you in on that. Will can come in on it as well and talk about what he's played.
I'll talk about how good the upload speed was.
It deserves a spoiler cast like when we have all finished it, no matter how late that is, because there's just so much in this game. And I said it already, but they just flesh out like the side characters so well as well. Like I'm so impressed. Like Brock Sindri. Freya becomes like a main character in this game. And even like Odin and Thor, who you really meet for the first time in this game, by the end of the game, you're like, you know who they are. And it's also the one final thing I'll say on it is it's a really fun take on, and a really interesting take on Norse mythology, because it combines like original Norse mythology and MCU Norse mythology in different ways. So like the Norse mythology we have a touch point for, and then for nerds, for me, the original stuff kind of combines them together into a very modern version of what this should be. It's a little less pulpy than MCU Norse mythology, but then is also like not as nerdy and ridiculous and sometimes creepy as original Norse mythology. I mean,
I will say one quick thing, like just the amount of like depth they've gone to make this a decent game. Like it's not a spoiler, but when you do go up against Thor at the very beginning, if you like right where you're there, you can see it in time the tooth that you punch out. You can see it on the ice, and like it's just a cool detail that's there. But that was my number one game of the year, just because I didn't play much. I do want to add though an honorable mention to Far Cry 5. Great game. Didn't come out this year.
Look at Josh's face.
Far Cry 5, yes.
I have a friend.
Look, I mean,
Josh.
I know it didn't come out this year, but I played it this year for the first time.
Wow. Go.
Probably the best of the series, I'd say.
You're going to talk to him for the rest of the day.
I agree with that. Far Cry 5 was
Well, not now, Josh. Not now.
There's Far Cry 5 Far Cry, it goes 3, then 5.
Yeah.
Wait, is 5 the redneck one?
Yeah.
With the father.
With the churchies.
The seeds.
The seeds. Josh?
Yeah.
Give
So
us
good.
your,
All right.
seed.
All right, here we go.
Give us your seed.
I've been very excited to mention my number 2. It is called One Dreamer. It is a game I didn't play. I played the demo. It's like a 20-minute demo. But with everything... All right, everyone's very quiet. With everything that is in this game, there is absolutely no way that it's not going to be my Narita Boy of 2021.
Yes.
It has to be my number one game. It is a game about a game developer.
But it's not your number one game.
But it's not.
Sorry, number 2 game.
Did you say you played the demo for the game?
Yes.
I did.
So it's number 2 for a demo.
The demo is number 2.
Yeah. But it did actually come out, and I have no doubt that it should be on my list. It's a pixel art game. You play as a game developer who is coming up to finishing his game. I think he's got a lot of pressure from his publishers to finish the game, but a family member of his, I think, has cancer or something and is in hospital. And so he's mentally dealing with that, plus the stresses of having to finish off this game. And he wanders around the world. And when you interact with things, if stuff's broken or a door might be locked. And so when you interact with the door, a computer window will pop up with code in it. And it'll look like proper code. And one of the attributes of the door, like you'd have in normal code, will say locked equals true. And so to unlock the door in very simple way, you change that to say false. So now the door is no longer locked, it's unlocked. And so you can go through the door. And it's that sort of puzzle, but this is all in the tutorial, which is very simple to try and get you in. In the demo to try and get you in. It's very moody. It's going to tug at the heartstrings so hard, which is just my style of game, but it's about a game developer as well. And there's code puzzles in it.
It's made for you.
It has to be. And it's pixel art. It is absolutely it would probably be my number one game of the year if I got to play it.
Yeah.
I almost have no doubt. But you didn't. It's my number 2 game of the year, and I haven't played it. It just makes me excited thinking about the concept of the game.
Is it on Xbox Game Pass stuff? Or?
It's on Steam. I've already bought it.
Yeah, good.
It's downloaded and installed on the 3 computers that I have, but I just haven't gotten around to actually play it yet. And I think it's pretty short, so I could probably play it tonight or tomorrow or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah. So to confirm.
It'll get there.
He comes back. Oh, it's actually terrible.
It actually sucks. I hate it.
Fortnite number 2.
Probably. I played a bit of that this year. So if One Dreamer doesn't make it, then Fortnite.
Fortnite it is.
Fortnite's number 2. There it is.
There's the backup. I won't speak too much on my number 2, despite it being my number 2. My number 2 is Hindsight, which is one of Will's wanky, sad games of the year. It's not quite Lake, but it's one of 2 parental kind of introspective journeys. The other one being A Memoir Blue. This one's really cool.
And God of War, thank you very much.
That's true. That is true. There is son, there is father. But this one is it's not a spoiler. It's the setup. It's mum's dead. She's gone home to see the childhood home and just reliving all the moments that she had with her parents. But in the name, Hindsight, it's a lot of do I remember that memory the way it was? And there's a lot of dual memories presented, and it's which one actually was it? And also dealing with, she kind of has a job focused life, and it's a lot of what did I miss? And that's the hindsight thing of in this moment I was doing this, but how did mum feel? And what was she going through? And it's the prime mechanic is there's no camera control per se, but generally you're interacting with an object and then turning it and trying to find where the access is to the menu, to the memory, not menu.
Not the menu. Oh, damn it.
Sorry.
So is there a menu?
Not particularly, no. Okay. No, not menu heavy, but
I wouldn't have made my list.
Yeah. No, but I played it on Switch. It's good on Switch as well. Nice. But that's Hindsight. Very nice. Very sweet game.
Sounds good.
Nothing else to say. Ben?
Number ones.
Number ones.
Ben, number one.
Can I just say before, this is the opposite of hindsight, whatever that is. Mine's got to suck. My number one has got to suck.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone else's number ones.
Would you want it now? Or do you want it at
it could kill them. It could
the
kill
last one.
Yeah, you should be the last person to talk about it.
It'll kill the mood.
Yeah, let's
Perfect.
destroy the podcast
Perfect.
with Josh's
Yeah.
terrible number one.
Let's go.
Great.
All right,
Great.
Ben.
Alrighty.
Bring us home to the first
Game of
one.
the year is the best game to come out this year.
Yeah,
and this is inarguable. You're all wrong.
Inarguable.
Ben, inarguable.
Yeah. The best game to come out this year is Marvel Snap.
Of course it is.
I already had the footage loaded,
there it
Ben.
is.
Yeah. I know you did. because you knew this. Because I've played so much of this game. Will showing the introductory missions, which are great. But I am well beyond the introductory missions.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I had all the cards possible to earn in this game, which means
Jesus.
I had gotten to collection level 3,000, because basically how the game works is you upgrade your collection level by upgrading your cards, and then that kind of unlocks you more cards, but that pace slows down massively.
Okay.
But I had done so much of that that I had gotten all the cards. Because the other thing is the higher rarity, the more you upgrade a card, the more levels it gives you on a collection track. So it's kind of
there he is.
Rock.
Where? Oh, Rock.
Yeah,
Sorry,
the Rock
Ben.
himself.
I was looking for his face.
But yeah, so I'd gotten to the point where I had all the cards, and then they just started releasing a bunch of new cards, which are even rarer and harder to get. So I will never again have all the cards. But I did for a while. That's how much I love this game, because anyone who's played the game knows that is an insane amount. It is.
Can I just say, just super quick?
Yes.
So you said you're at collection level 3,000.
Nearly 3,600 at this point.
I played for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I still log in every day to get the free credits, because I do think that I will come back to this and get quite into it.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get as much money as I can to I am at level 99. I played for a couple of weeks. I'm at level 99 and Ben's at 3,600.
Insane, Ben.
Yeah. So there's a lot of facets to why I love this game. So I played Hearthstone for years.
I can get my free credits in 6 minutes.
It's 6 minutes. Yeah, the reset's in 6 minutes.
Yeah,
they both know.
I got to talk about this for 6 minutes, so then I can claim all my stuff. So so many reasons why I love this. Again, no game had pulled me away from Hearthstone. Hearthstone was my card game that I played daily, and put a lot of money into for years. They released the Dota card game Artifact, which I thought would pull me away, and then that game died, so it didn't. But this was the one to finally do it. And you might be like, oh, well, it's just because it's a Marvel game. And partially, yes. The Marvelness of this game is fantastic. There are cards for so many Marvel characters. They go into really deep cuts, as well as your favorites. And there are also, you can see on the screen, there are 3 locations in each game, and each location is a various Marvel location, and they each have unique abilities when you play cards there. So the Marvelness of the game is fantastic. All the characters do exactly or pretty close to what you think the character would do. There's only maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. One of them is Hawkeye, who just buffs another card that you play next to him, which makes no sense. But then but basically every other card works how you think it would. Galactus destroys all the other locations, and there's only 1 remaining. Let me think about some others. Thanos puts all the Infinity Stones into your deck, and you can kind of draw them, and they do various things and buff Thanos. You have the Collector, whose power goes up every time you add cards to your hand. There's I could go through a crazy list, but they all make such perfect sense for what the character does that it's kind of crazy. And the people who make this game clearly love Marvel and love deep Marvel lore, because again, all the locations all do things that kind of make sense as well. And yeah, there's just like so much love that has gone into that side of the game. As a comic book lover, you can collect variants of each card. That some of them are just flat out like comic book covers that you know and love. Others are like pixel variants. Others are like fresh art that they've had made for the game. And then you can upgrade those variants, and then that unlocks more cards and more variants.
Yeah, almost like a chibi or like an Adventure Time art style as well in there and stuff. Like there's really cool.
There's like so many different like styles of variants you can collect. And then on top of that, it's also just the best card game I've ever played. And I've played a lot of card games, but it is the best version of a card game. I'm pretty confident in saying at this point. I know some people would agree with me, and like a lot of people still think Hearthstone is better or Runeterra is better, but the game, every game takes like 3 to 6 minutes, which is exactly what I want from a card game. Hearthstone games can go on for like half an hour at this point, and like I don't want to be stuck in a card game for half an hour. I already play like Destiny and Dota. Like I'm not about to be stuck in that kind of. I want to be able to do other stuff while I play a card game, or I want to be able to quickly play a game and then go like play a game on the toilet and then go do what I actually need to do.
I can tell you it's the best card game because I've played it and have played it.
Yeah, totally.
That's why you know it's good.
We'll try.
Yeah. It's at least the most accessible card game as well, which is really cool.
Not a card game?
No, I hate cards.
He hates them.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm all cash. I don't carry a card.
Yeah.
COVID was very hard for Will.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't fucking easy for anyone, was it?
Particularly hard for Will. Couldn't buy
the genius part of the gameplay of this game is that you do your turns concurrently with the other person. So there's 6 turns per game. And you play at the same time. So you're kind of like, it's a little bit of a bluffing game to try and like beat out your opponent. You basically want to win 2 of the 3 locations by having like more power there. And yeah, so the games go super quick. And that means that like I'm in and out of one into another. While we were waiting to set up this podcast, I was just gaining cubes over and over again. Because that's the other thing about this game. It's gambling, but in a healthy way. Because you're gambling cubes. And cubes mean nothing other than skill. Basically, how it works is the game starts at like a stake of 1 cube. And if no one snaps across the game, and whoever wins at the end of the game gets 2 cubes. But each time a player snaps, the cube doubles. So I might snap on like the second turn because I think I have a very good chance of winning the game. The game is now worth 2 cubes. If my opponent snaps back on me, the game's now worth 4 cubes. And if it goes to the last turn, it's worth 8 cubes. So super high stakes.
Yeah. And that's like you losing your cubes. You're essentially gambling your own cubes. So, so if you get to a point where you're like, I think I can win this, and you snap, then you're like potentially giving up more cubes, but you could gain more cubes. But that's you just being
and
like,
the cubes are basically how you ascend the ranks in the game. And then if they snap and you're like, I have no chance of winning this game, you can leave before the next turn, and that means you won't lose those extra cubes they get from snapping. So there's just like so many elements to this game that make it great. The gameplay is the best card game. It's the best realization of a lot of Marvel characters that there is. It's the best realization of a comic book collectible card game, because it's just like collecting comic covers. I just got a Marvel Snap notification. I can get my free coins. Yeah, nice. I need to stop talking about it then, so I can do the same.
It's over.
But like I literally have collected less comics this year because I think I've been playing Marvel Snap and I've been collecting like variants through that instead.
That's so good.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it's just freaking phenomenal. It's my game of the year of God of War Ragnarok because I just can't stop playing it. Like literally can't stop playing it. And like God of War Ragnarok, I had to stop playing it. So screw you, Kratos. Marvel Snap's better than you.
My number one, potentially no surprise, is Horizon Forbidden West.
I forgot about that one.
Had to be on there.
I'm so excited about this game. I'm collecting my Marvel Snap tokens.
Didn't play it.
No, but like, I've played some of the first one.
Yeah.
And like I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you haven't got around to the second one yet.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. It's just Will already knew. He had it
was
ready.
ready.
It had to be there. Yeah, I freaking love the first one. I absolutely loved this one as well. I did have to stop playing for a short period of time while I was making Wayward Strand because I was just way too busy to sink time into this, and I was only ever spending half an hour chunks in it, and that's not the way to play an open world RPG. But yeah, I loved this. I loved the additions that they progressed on from Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm very keen for just more of this. There was weird freaking story beats in it that I was not expecting, but yeah, it just looks great, felt great to play. Her thing definitely went into the monster just then. Definitely, definitely inside.
Nailed it. Game of the year right here.
Yeah, 100% number one game.
No glitches whatsoever.
Nope, definitely not.
Nope.
But yeah, I adore this world. I adore there's stuff wrong with it. There definitely is. Like, you know, the audio in parts of this is just awful. As you're running around the world, she's muttering something to herself, but you never know what it is because
She won't shut up.
Nah.
Yeah, she doesn't shut up, and whatever she's saying, you don't hear it either.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones where she walks into a room and within 5 seconds she gives you a hint about what to do. It's like, yeah, just give me a second, all right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Her and Atreus are doing
Atreus,
well.
yeah. Totally. It's got that going on a little bit as well. But yeah, it had to be my number one.
Yeah.
I love this world. I love Aloy. There's just fun characters all the time. Like, you know, they write very interesting and funny characters. They have, because it's a game set in the future.
Except Aloy.
Yeah. It's a game set in the future, and so, you know, people discover things that, you know, we have every day, that we use every day. And so the little bits of, you know, funny, quirky writing about them discovering something but not knowing what it is or what it was used for, but we very clearly do because we're using it right now, that sort of stuff. It's very fun. And yeah, I adore the crap out of this game and everything that is in it. It's why it was one of the very few games that I platinumed this year, other than My Name is Mayo 2.
I was about to ask if you finished it.
Yeah,
but then you just answered
yeah. This
big
is
old plat.
One of the few that I finished, and like Horizon Zero Dawn, I didn't want to stop playing it, so I continued until I got everything in the game.
Was it hard to get a platinum?
Not really. There wasn't much of a challenge in all. It was just time. It's just a lot of time that you have to put into actually finishing it. But even then, like, it didn't take me that long to polish off a lot of the extra stuff, I don't think. Yeah, like, especially when you kind of use a walkthrough to find some things occasionally, like just to get a bit of a hint. But for the most part, it's, you know, everything shows up on the map for collectibles and things like that. So it's just time. It's just time to sink in. But I think it took me, I don't know, an extra 3 days after I finished the game to actually get the platinum. So it wasn't too much, but
there's enough of a challenge to...
Yeah. There's enough in there, and far out. I love that game.
I will get back to it at some point. I loved the first game when I finally got around to it. I think like the gameplay is super fun because of like fighting the actual robots is super cool.
Yeah.
It's just they're just the unluckiest developers in the world.
Yeah.
The first game came out with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
This game came out with Elden Ring as well as like Tunic and so many other games. And then they're releasing the DLC for this next year when the new Breath of the Wild comes out.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so,
but I really want to get back to it because I'm glad you loved it so much. And
yeah,
I'm sure
definitely. And I feel like this will be these games, I will probably sit my girlfriend down and be like, we are playing through these games. Like, I won't make her play them because they're going to be too complex for someone who has not played games like this before. But I love these games so much that I'm gonna sit her down and play through them all. And she'll be fine with it because she just seems to love everything that I love. So
she likes you.
That's right.
She likes what you like.
It's kind of nice. I like it. Yeah, it's sweet.
You know what, Josh?
Yeah,
I like what you like too. My number one's Rollerdrome. There's nothing else to say.
There it is. Yeah, talk about it. Talk about it. Give us everything.
Because I hate video games.
Yeah.
So it's very rare.
Sarcasm.
Yeah. No. I pretty much Ben.
He kind of does.
I hate video games.
You've got like a good list of games.
Well, that's because I'm fucking amazing, but I hate games. All right, I can't go in it.
You make the argument, but it's not true at this point.
Well, I mean,
you've always played more games than we have this year. Out of everyone in this room, you've played second.
That's true.
The second most amount of games.
And I'm insane, so
Yeah. I mean, because I went into the end of this year list going like, I probably won't play any games next year. I'm so fucking tired of games. And then I was like, oh, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad.
You got some pretty good games in there.
The Rollerdrome just tops it because it usually takes a lot for me to stay with a game because my mindset is fuck this until I enjoy a thing, whereas this just clicks straight away with my brain.
It's also a very gamey game, and I feel like when you say you don't like video games, it's like you don't like gamey games.
No,
like your list is very like kind of you don't have to do a lot in all of the games.
Yes, and I think this one strikes a good balance because there's not really a fail state, which is, I think, the thing that always kicks me in the butt with games. I just don't like... It's not that I don't like losing. It's just that I'm like, I just don't want to play you now. Like, there's nothing... There's no joy for me for failing in a game. I'm like, oh, cool, I guess. Whereas this, not having a Tony Hawk, like, oh, you missed a button, so you fell over. It's like there's no way to fall in the game. Which is,
the fail state is just dying.
Yeah. You've run out of bullets, you're dead. And being killed... is the reload super quick as well, so there's just no frustration in the game. The game does everything it can to make you feel cool as well, which is lovely. And I think with a lot of games this year, I'm sure we've all had it, where it's like not knowing the mechanic of this game is the best part of it. Not knowing that, and I'll spoil it for you guys and everyone watching. Not knowing that the mechanic of reloading or getting ammo is doing tricks. Like feeling that for the first time, be like, oh, that's sick. Like, that's such a cool mechanic.
Forcing you to have to actually do tricks and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because, Sifu could put in an emote button, and it's like, well, why would I press that? Whereas, it's so intrinsically tied. Everything about the game is just one idea, really.
It's nice that you don't have to, collect ammo to get the ammo. It's not just placed around and it spawns. There's a fun purpose or a fun way to get it, and it makes no sense.
No.
In terms of, reality or within the world of the game, it makes no sense that doing a trick would somehow spawn you ammo.
No.
But it makes the game fun. Not the gun fame.
The gun fame. That's high on life, baby.
I think
now, we could go to Finchy, or how much do you reckon this is going to bomb? Because we've also got toe comments as well. We could quickly burn through those.
Yeah, go through the toe comments because mine's going to kill it, I reckon.
Yes. Perfect. I'm so excited.
I want to know what this thing is.
I think I've hyped it up too much, but could kill it.
Because I can't think of a video game we haven't talked about.
No.
So I'm very excited. I'll quickly run through them. Some of these I think, the first one's definitely going to help to get a game onto our Games of the Year list, which will not matter... That's not how you spell that. But the first one comes from Dolphin Pants, who agrees with you, Ben, on Immortality.
Yes.
I don't know if Dolphin played it or he just loves it through your stream.
No, he didn't play it. He just watched me play it.
I think it's potentially through your stream. We also had Grubby, who speaks up for Stray. They say, as someone who has a cat and has been somewhat obsessed with cats for most of their life, it's genuinely impressive to see a developer breathe life into a digital feline and then build a...
They mocapped the cat.
Yeah, sorry.
They mocapped the cat. Sorry.
They mocapped a cat.
Talking about breathing life into it, they literally used a live cat, and I think that's cool.
Yeah. BMAC, Fortnite, it was a slow year. Fair.
Yeah.
Joshy says The Artful Escape, which did release on PlayStation 5 this year.
Yeah.
So it scrapes in.
Can still get in. Another game that I do need to play.
Insane that hasn't.
I
haven't played.
I got
nuts.
really sad about this because I realized it left Game Pass and I hadn't played it in time.
Has it really?
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
so I now have to buy the game,
Freaking
which
heck.
just sucks. Now I have to support that developer.
Yeah, fucking Johnny
Galvatron.
God. Artful Escape because of all the reasons we know. Also, there was a game that Joshy sunk more hours into, but he knows the ETTO thoughts on that game. So really, Joshy's game of the year is
not Arkham Knight.
Gotham Knight.
Gotham Knights.
That's Joshy's real game of the year, which is fine. You're allowed to have opinions, even if they're wrong.
Yeah.
Milk says Fortnite, which we can agree on. Jade also gives some love to Vampire Survivor. Laughing Seal says Elfen Ring.
Nice.
Oh,
very different game.
Elden Ring, if it has to be from this year, but my game of the year actually feels like Going Under. Came out last year, but I came across it this year.
Oh, nice.
After finishing
Going Under. It's good fun.
What was that one?
Wasn't that the one where you're an intern and
You can only say yes or something?
I feel like it was like a wave. I feel like it was like a wave mode. You're like an intern at a startup or something.
Yeah.
And there's like monsters or something. Under the
I
office.
think that's what it is.
One of those. Yeah. It looked pretty fun.
That's fun. Dump Days gives some love to Cold of Lambs as well.
Nice.
And Violet Win, it says Splatoon 3. I play it most days and love the big run event that they just
Love
had.
that.
Very good.
Love that.
So, Josh, do you want to give us your
Here we go.
Right,
You ready?
crescendo? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys. I don't know. I think I've played it up a bit too much. But
No.
it's F1 2022.
Yeah. No, that's pretty shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's pretty shit.
Pardon? What's that? Yeah.
Like F1.
F1
Formula One.
Oh, get
Racing.
it. I was thinking. I was like, should I switch?
No,
But when you guys were switching, I was like, I think I should switch mine for Fortnite. But no, I'm gonna stick with it. It's great. I just love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I suck at it, but I like it.
I was going to say, because the F1 games for me have always been hard to get into because they're so like a slip off the curve and you're fucked, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Too
like,
realistic.
if you just like start on the easy levels,
Yep.
then not easy levels. So there's no level. Technically, there are levels. But like the cool thing with this one is they've got like another racing thing where it's like you're not driving F1s, you're driving supercars that are made by the companies that
Cool.
have
cool.
Yeah.
a team. So you do like a drift of like a McLaren or something like.
Mhm.
You've got different types of events in different cars.
Yeah, cool.
They can do
Not just F1.
not just
Yeah,
F1,
cool.
and you
That's
do,
sick.
and you do it at the start of the weekend.
Yep.
So like you'll do, and you have an option of like 3 events that you can do,
Yeah.
and so you like let's say you drift, you got to drift through all these gates
Yeah.
and stuff, and it's timed, and you get like points depending on how much. Like
Yeah. Yeah, sick.
So yeah,
Okay, maybe I'll pick up that one
Josh?
because I do like the idea of the F1 games.
yeah.
Josh, I'm going to make your day. I love F1 games.
Really?
There you go.
I'm glad this is your
sweet.
game of the year.
Oh, sweet. What a wholesome end to the.
Yeah, what the hell?
I was just going to say, I've played multiple of these games over the years. Like I played basically every year from like 2012 to like 2015 or something. I'm super into F1. These games are always like super well made. They're never a bad version of it, or at least not now. There are a few back in the day. But yeah, no, I think these games deserve to get shouted out every now and then. So I'm glad Josh did it.
Yeah, and like especially this, like the last couple of years, like the maps and like the design of it, like are super realistic.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
And
I didn't play this year's one, but I played a lot of last year's one.
So
and
cool.
And while we were doing the viewer comments, I heard Finchy go, I did play another game this year. What was that other game?
I actually forgot.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
Before we wrap, we've got to do our top 10 games of the year. I've removed the numbers because fuck ranking them. The games can't be ranked. You can creatively rank like movies and shit. Games are so different that
and ranking 10 games between 5 people
that have not played.
a bunch of people. Yeah, a bunch of which we have not played.
It's not worth it. So I've just got this list. What we need is an extra couple of games to chuck on that list.
F1 number 2.
Quimby.
What?
Quinby.
What the fuck is Quinby?
Point B.
Point P.
Oh, Point P. Fuck, everyone
Point
does
B.
that.
Do you want to do 7?
I'll chuck Point P on there for sure. What else are we missing?
Fortnite.
Fortnite's on there. What else do people want on there?
Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. Ben, do you want Destiny on there?
Can I pick one?
Yeah.
You want Destiny 2? I'll just put Destiny 2 on there, but we know what you mean.
Oh, Horizon's not on there.
Horizon's not on there.
Yeah.
What did Sam want on
Can
there?
I put The Last of Us, the remake?
Fuck it.
Yep.
There's nothing else we care about.
Destiny 2.
Can I replace Destiny?
Yeah?
I want Citizen Sleeper on there.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then replace Game 9 with your 1 and then 10, but we're going to rank them then.
Nah, we're going to
We're not ranking them? Okay. So that's just our top 10 in no particular order.
Being that I'm the only one that played the remake of The Last of Us, I think it deserves 10.
Yeah.
Wait, The Last of Us
Remake.
But what about F122?
No.
It's his game of the year.
Yeah,
you can't do this to me.
No.
Replace Fortnite. Yeah, replace
what
Fortnite.
else
with
That's
F1.
fine.
F1 2022?
Yeah.
Can't believe that made it a hectic.
Yeah, there you go.
Fortnite can be in it every single year.
Yeah, we know it's good.
Yeah.
Are we happy with this as our games
Sure.
of year?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you going to add to it?
The one he forgot.
Yeah. What do you want Lego Star Wars on there?
$100 says I'll remember it in about half an hour.
Yeah.
Can you look
tell
at
us
the PlayStation app?
We'll work it out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our Games of the Year. Thank you to our Toes for giving us some of their thoughts as well. Thank you, Ben, for sitting on a call for 3 hours before we started. There'll be a couple more of these videos to come, and they'll be good fun. And I think they'll only get better from here.
Definitely.
Surely.
Yeah.
And I'll remember
only
to
got
make
more
one.
energy from now.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
And at least we'll all have like a full list.
Yeah.
Because we're only doing 5
Yep.
for the rest of these.
Yeah. And I just Game of the Year always blows out because there's mechanics and there's so much to talk
There's so much
about.
to discuss.
No, totally. It was all good. You'll love it. Enjoy it. I hope
they
you did,
did.
because at this point it's over.
Yeah, they're
So
at
I
the end of
can't,
the podcast.
I can't tell you to enjoy it. You either did or you didn't.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Or don't, because you never got up to this point in the podcast.
Yeah.
That's right. So we'll never know. Good. All right, well, see you in the next one. Bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.